everyone. Welcome back to Love All. I've missed everybody. It's been a few weeks without the podcast. I watched a lot of tennis, but Blair, it's really good to see you. I'm excited to talk tennis again with you.
Oh my gosh, Kim, I have missed you so much. Not only seeing your face, we both have been so busy, we haven't even been able to send each other 12-minute voice notes. Let me tell you, there has been a void in my life. So thrilled to be back with you, back with the team, talking tennis. We've got some questions from our fans today, which we appreciate so much. So we're going to do some fan questions. We're going to do a little RG recap, and we're going to talk about grass season. I wore my lime green today in honor of the grass. And Kim, just a quick update from you. You were at Roland Garros, you're home, and then tell people what's happening.
Yes, I was at Roland Garros. I did the qualifying week and a couple of days, or the first 3 days of the tournament, and then came home, and then I'm leaving tomorrow to go with Jada to Belgium because she's going to have her, her whole preseason for the Belgium European Championship, the European Championships in August, and then maybe if she does somewhat well, she may have an opportunity to join the women's team for some practices and some camps and stuff like that. So
that's so cool.
That will be exciting. So.
And and she is done with high school.
She's done. Yeah, she finished her junior year. She has one more year left. So she arrived with all her car packed full of dorm stuff. She has like the smallest room, and like her car was completely packed with boxes. And I was like, "Where did you store all this? Like, what did your room look like?" But yeah, anything. She had a lot of stuff stored under her bed, she said. So that's the thing I learned for next year is really minimum.
Gonna take a minimalist approach. Got it.
Yes.
All right. Well, that is so exciting. So we'll be talking to you from Europe next time I see you.
Yep, I will. We'll be in Belgium.
And Kim, it's only a couple of weeks until we are diving back into bracket land. But I want to do a quick served bracket challenge update from Roland Garros. We were not the most bad, Kim, and I am patting ourselves on the back for that. I just want to say a huge thank you to John Wertheim for having 27 other jobs. So he could not fully focus on doing a bracket and redrawing and all the things because, he's TNT, Tennis Channel, 60 Minutes, all the things, not to mention served. So thankfully, JW was distracted and we were not the most bad.
Blair, by the time we get to the US Open, we're going to be in pole position, okay? Like, it's, We just have to get warmed up a little bit and get a feel for, everything.
That's right.
And give the guys a little bit of...
That's right. You were second. You came in second. Do you know what the standings were?
I don't. No,
you came in second in the men's.
Lucky.
No, that is just your tennis brilliance. I came in first in women's. Woo-woo.
Whoa, congrats.
And combined, we were second and third. And of course, Andy was first, just annoyingly good at this. But he's had more practice than we have at picking things. Right?
Do they like maybe change some stuff behind the scenes that we don't know just to make him win every time? Like, is that what's happening?
I don't know. We need to send in our private investigators. But Andy's annoyingly good at it. But it was fun. And we get to do it again in a few weeks. So I feel like we should be ready to go. I'm sweating at the thought. Like,
Blair, do you know how many people like signed up to do the brackets? Do you have any idea? Or maybe we should ask Techie Sean for this.
Do we know?
We do. Let's see. Total brackets. Oh my gosh, I'm going to add this up. 4,870.
Wow, that's great.
It's not bad.
And who ended up winning?
The winner is going to be the combined winner, Jack the Snack 21. He had.
I love you, Jack the Snack.
That sounds like a Belgian fries store. Food list like a
that's amazing.
He had 2,830 points.
Holy cow. Yeah, we were not close to 2,000, Kim. We were not we were close.
I think I was closer to my Yahtzee score in the bracket than I was. We've been playing Yahtzee with the kids, so I'm in Yahtzee brain.
I love it.
These last few days.
Was there any, I will say, looking back, I picked Felix to lose, I believe, in the first round to Altmaier, and Felix won in a fifth set tiebreak. And then I picked Navone to beat Menchik. And that was the match in which Menchik almost died. and won in a 5th set tiebreak. So I was like, had I gotten those two, who knows? It could have changed everything. I could have ended up on top. I'll never forgive you, Mariano Navone, for not being able to pull it out when your opponent couldn't even walk.
I had Alexander Blocks and Rafael Collignon going to the quarters, and
Collignon was a good bet though.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Alex got hurt on the covers.
That's those problematic tarps, just one of many wild stories to come out of RG26. Do you, obviously I think there's maybe some recency bias here, but can you remember a slam as weird as this one?
No. Everything, just from, the injuries that happened. Then it was so cold, like the first few days of qualies, that like people were wearing hats, were wearing like winter hats and jackets and gloves. People were walking around in gloves, and it was super cold. And then all of a sudden you have the heat wave, and then people are, there was like fans throwing up. Like it was, you should have seen it. It was crazy.
It's like tennis Hunger Games.
Yes, it was like a battlefield out there. But then I really enjoyed just being a fan and walking around. Like I literally would leave the hotel at like 8:30 in the morning, watch a couple of practices, warm-ups, and then just watch tennis from like 10 a.m. onwards until like the last match, and kind of walk through the streets behind where I was staying. And just that was kind of my routine for the week. And I absolutely loved just being like a tennis fan and junkie. So really, really enjoyed it.
A tennis fan who just happened to take selfies with other fans periodically
once in a while.
Once in a while. I love that. Well, I would love to dive in then to some of the main storylines from Roland Garros and get your thoughts.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, Kim, we have new men's and women's champions, singles champions at the same slam for the first time since 2021. And boy, was it a journey to get there. I want to start with Mirra Andreeva, who is, of course, 19 years old. I don't want to say that she was due for a slam. I think we thought it would eventually happen, maybe not quite this soon. She only had one 3-setter en route to the title. Interestingly, that was in the second round against Basils Ribera, a player I am not terribly familiar with. And I do feel like, outside looking in, it was like her whole season sort of built up to this. Like we saw her maturing and figuring things out in real time. Like I think back to Indian Wells, where she said, F you all. And the lady in the stands is like, clutching her pearls. And in Madrid, when was it against Bondar, when she was up 5-1, it ends up going to a tiebreak, and she's sitting on the bench saying to her team, I'm not a champion. I'm not a champion. And here she is, a champion, and just a really neat moment. And it's not like she was playing Aryna Sabalenka in the final, but Chwalinska was challenging for lots of other reasons. That could have been a mental gauntlet to play a player who you were absolutely supposed to beat on paper. So yeah, just a lot of different factors here. I'm curious what your read was, having watched her road to the title.
Yeah, to me, it was more the watching her mentality, her mental side. How was she, with all the seeds dropping out? Like, how could she kind of compose herself through tougher matches, through matches where she was the favorite? And because at times those are, moments where that can be a little bit like harder than, obviously being the underdog. So to seeing her kind of take on that role, and at times she, like, especially in the semifinal and the final, you saw her maturity level just went up. And it's like she was locked in, and it's almost like she took it on, head on. Like she wasn't scared of the moment, and I'm sure she was nervous, but I do think in the moment she was able to be very composed, and that's something that I was the most impressed with. Was how well she stayed, just locked in, and she wasn't playing a Sabalenka or an Iga in the finals, but when you're playing your first Grand Slam final, like that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you have. It's the moment that can sometimes be overwhelming. And so for her to, to play well and to be the one dominating the points and playing her game, and was very impressive to be able to do that in her first Grand Slam final.
I want to ask a question that one of our fans had asked having to do with Andreeva. Ashley said, Mirra just won her first Grand Slam at 19. Kim, you reached your first Roland Garros final at a similar age. So I think you had were almost 18, I believe.
I just turned 18 between the semis and the finals. Yeah.
There you go. So what does that level of composure under pressure at that age feel like from the inside?
Oh, it's a very long time ago, but there's a lot of things about that match that I don't remember when it comes down to what happened on court, but my emotions I remember very well. And just, all of a sudden throughout, because I played Justine in the semifinal, there was so much media attention on that Saturday, on the Friday before the finals. There was so much attention, and I just felt so out of place. Like there was so many things happening. Everybody wants something from you. You had the Belgian media where, we're divided in the Flemish media, you had the French media, then I had to do the English media. So I was doing 3 languages. So it was just a lot. And I think back then, they didn't really cap it off as much as like, we're going to do an hour and that's it. Like there was, Justine and I did photo shoots together, like before the semifinals.
Oh my gosh, that was just wild.
Yeah, there was a lot of just weird things that I think about now. It's like, man, why, that would never happen, or they wouldn't allow so much to happen now. But for me, it was more, scared. I was scared right before. I remember, waiting to go on court and just seeing, through the tunnel, seeing a lot of the Belgian flags and seeing that the stadium was full. And then, you see the people walking in, like the security with the trophy, and they have their gloves on. And it was just all very overwhelming for me. And it changes. Like I didn't really feel like that in the semifinal, but then all of a sudden in the final, I just got very tentative and nervous. And then as much as, people in your team or my parents were like, it's just like any other game, but it's really not.
Is that what they were saying to you?
Yeah, just take it like it's, it's the same. My dad was always very kind of level-headed. He's like, it's the same court. It's the same, just play tennis, hit the ball. Like he would always say that, and have fun. And as much as you try to tell yourself, it can get overwhelming, and it did for me. But I do feel like once you after the 5-minute warm up and you kind of get to loosen the arm up by hitting some rallies and kind of feeling like, okay, I was against Jennifer Capriati and the rallies were feeling good and I felt like I was hitting the ball clean. And there's nothing more annoying or stressful than to miss like easy shots in the warm up, right? Like because you're stressed and like you just want to get a good feel. And so once I felt like I had that, I was like, okay, I can start. And then you win your first game. You're like, thank God, it's not going to be like a 6-love or 0-0. Like we have those doubts too, or I did, especially back then. But it's, a lot of self-doubt just pops up out of nowhere. And I never really thought about that until that was kind of the first time where for me, like I felt like, I would, really like doubt myself. Because before that, everything was still very free and all of a sudden, like the attention, and you just start thinking more and more about all that stuff.
So now that Andreeva has one under her belt, does that free her up or does that add pressure?
I think it will free her up, but I do also think just by going off her reaction, she looks so motivated to be like, all right, bring on the next one. Like, I'm ready now. Like to me, that's almost a feeling I had. And she looked so composed, like for somebody who we've seen being so emotional on the court, her emotions when she won were so, I feel like, calm and like, okay, let me, be respectful to my opponent, like very under control. And it was really nice to see. And I loved seeing Conchita. And me too. Like I get chills now.
Same. She is such a delight. Like I am so thankful for the Hall of Fame and the opportunity that I had to get to know her during her induction year, because she is such a gem, and there is no part of her that wants the attention for herself. She She loves the sport and clearly has a really special relationship with Mirra. Did you see her press conference when Mirra got to ask her a question?
Yeah. But that's like, I love that relationship about them. She's the coach, but she's like a big sister. She's like a mother role at times too. Like that, like, you know, I don't know. I just love like seeing a female coach like do well, and somebody who's done it before, like who's done it herself is just really, really great to see. And yeah. I mean, you know, they've worked together and there's been a lot of emotions and, you know, Conchita at times was like, listen, you're going to have to get your act together because otherwise I'm not going through with this. Like, you're going to have to step up your mindset and to then know like, okay, now she's holding up that trophy is just really, really nice. And that's what it's all about. Like, nobody's career goes smoothly. Like, you can't give up when you're struggling and when things get hard. Like, you just have to push through because every Grand Slam winner, every number one player in the world, like, has gone through really hard stages in their career. And you just have to keep reminding yourself like that, you know, it's the struggles that kind of make you get closer to how you need to be to win these big tournaments.
Okay, Maja Chwalinska. What a run. Comes through qualies, reaches the final. She's 24-year-old lefty and has an interesting story also. In 2021, took several months off the tour to give herself a mental break, had struggled with depression up to that point and wasn't sure that she was going to come back, but she did. And what an incredible success story. If you had said at the beginning of the tournament that a Polish player was going to be in the final on the women's side, it wasn't going to be her.
No.
And neat also that she and Iga are such good friends. And you saw her in qualies. And I'm curious what you saw in terms of her tennis.
So in her last round of quali, she played against Suzanne Lamens, who shares the same agent as I do, and so I went to watch her play, and I've gotten to know Suzanne a little bit and hit some balls with her in Miami, and so it was really nice. Like, she had also been kind of struggling with like her tennis, and you know, that also kind of gets to like your head a little bit. If, you know, at one point she was like, I think around 60, 65 in the world, and then now she's playing in qualies again, and so, you know, it does something to your mind. So to see her, you know, win a couple of matches and then you know, play the last round of qualies against Maja was so composed like that. I remember just saying to like the people that we were sitting with, it's like, it's incredible how in control of her emotions she is. Like, she does not, whether she's up or down, if her opponent, you know, hits a lucky shot or a straight up winner, like, her emotions are the same. And I just loved her, you know, her footwork, the way that she moved, especially to the forehand. Like, I just loved how she like moved out wide to the forehand. And
can you elaborate on that? How did she move out to the forehand that you liked?
I think her timing was just always right. And so, you know, on clay, it can, you know, it can be a little bit tricky at times because, you know, you have to make like split second decisions. You do that split step and you move to the side, but sometimes there's a little slip up, or, you know, you're off a little bit, you know, to the ball. But I felt like her upper body was always in the right position, even if she wasn't at times. Like, she has the hands to make up for it, and she has the variety of, she can make angles, she can draw her opponents out wide, like out of the tram lines with her forehand. I doubt it a little bit if she was aggressive enough to play against the hard hitters. Because she does retrieve a little further back, like she feels very comfortable moving side to side. So I doubted in that qualifying match. I'm like, I'm curious to see, like, when she plays some hard hitters, you know, if she's still capable of doing that. And she did. Like, she beat Elise Mertens, I think it was in the second round, and just played her game and didn't change anything, and just very, very impressive to watch. But what stood out for me the most was just how composed and how. Yeah, she just did not let anything to get to her. She was super happy though, like after the match when she won, like to see that she, you know, qualified for the main draw. Like, she was so happy and relieved, and so it was nice to see that for her as well. But it's an incredible story, and so now, you know, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, but now I'm like, because this is what the media would always do, kind of look ahead, and, you know, and as a player,
that was my next question. Is like, what do we expect from her going forward?
And that's what I'm very curious about now too. Like, does she have the footwork and the legs to move well on grass? Yes, she does. Do her shots hurt enough? I don't know. Like, I don't know if she can create enough power from a little bit further behind the baseline to against the hard hitters. But she has the legs. Her footwork is so fun to watch, and it's different than Iga's, right? Like, it's a more natural way of moving that she has, whereas Iga is, I feel at times, like is very forced at times. But she, very natural mover, and can loop the forehand up, and so things like that. Just really enjoyed her tennis.
Alexander Zverev. Sasha is a Grand Slam champion at 29 years old. I will be honest, I don't know that I thought this was going to happen for him. And for him to be able to get over the finish line now, would he have been able to do that? Flavio Cobolli, again, I think for him too, similar to Chwalinska, found himself in a Grand Slam final. There is a mental exhaustion that sort of comes with that. And perhaps he sort of started flagging toward the end. But credit to Sasha for getting over the finish line.
Definitely. I just, we always talk about tennis, how it's such a mental game, right? And I feel like in that match and seeing Sasha go through it, to me, it just showed like every kid, like, when he started having an issue, whether it was the starter cramps or all of a sudden, like, he starts hitting his ball, like he starts going for it, he starts being aggressive while he was having a body issue. And a lot of times, like, when you can just take the focus off, like the score and what you're worried about, the tactics, and like that making you nervous, is to like, oh my God, like, I'm going to try to just go for it and try to, get this set or win this tiebreak. I think it was like, it just shows how mentally, and a lot of times I feel like as a woman, you think like, oh, these guys, like they're mentally, super strong, and they, like I always thought
the
that.
opposite.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say as a woman.
No, but as a tennis player, I always kind of figured like the guys are like super solid because they don't maybe panic as much as some of the women do on court, or that I even did at times, or doubt themselves as much as I did. And then you like, I was able to hit, with some players and get to know them a little bit. And then you're like, really? Like, you question yourself like that too? Like, or it just, I just thought it was very interesting. But then to see him kind of let loose and hit, and I don't know what the miles per hours were that like of that he went up with the speed on his baseline game. It was just, it's just incredible to see. And then just to be able to for him to stay composed through it all. And I think it reminded me a little bit of like kind of my first win at the US Open, is like when you've lost a few finals and then doesn't matter who you play, but you're like, okay, I got to get this done. Like, I've put myself in this situation a few times now, and now it's going to be my time. And and just to see how well he played in that fifth set, that was impressive. And I don't know, what they gave him or anything, but just to see that he physically was able to manage to fight through that, and was very impressive. So great to see him, battle that out and win his first slam.
Okay. I would love to get your thoughts on, actually, before we shift to that, can we talk about Jannik Sinner? He was, as of this recording, he was in the hospital in Milan on Monday getting tests, presumably. He was walking out of the hospital with a bandage around his wrist, maybe trying to get to the bottom of why he's having these physical issues. But I am still scratching my head after watching what happened in the second round against Juan Manuel Cerundolo, where he was up 2 sets and a double break. And
5-1. Yep.
To me, and again, I want to be careful about any medical speculation, but he said in press that it had nothing to do with the heat. He just didn't feel well. He had a bad night's sleep, woke up not feeling 100%. As we discussed, if I didn't want every question at the next slam to be about the temperature, I also would have said that. That is also how I would have framed it.
Or for your opponents to know.
Yeah, for my opponents, for the media, like, I just had I just was sick. But what was most perplexing to me is that he was this close to the finish line. And that's what made me feel like there's perhaps an anxiety factor here, where when he feels
It coming on,
when he feels whether it's heat issues or other physical, a physiological response coming on, there is a psychological aspect to it. Because I don't know if you were like this with, anything that you felt or pain, but I obviously on a much lower level. But for me, if I knew that I couldn't hurt myself worse, I was going to die on the tennis court. What stressed me out was when I was like, if I keep playing on this thing, am I going to be out for months afterward?
Yeah.
But in this case, knowing that he possibly could have been off the court within 20 minutes if he was just able to empty the gas tank, but he couldn't empty the gas tank and get over them. I mean, Cerundolo was looking at his team like,
there's nothing I can do. Too good. Yeah.
And so that to me was the biggest head scratcher.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the exact same way. It was very confusing. And, you saw him grab kind of his left, upper leg, his butt cheek, not. Yeah. Is he cramping? Did he have a muscle tear? I don't know what was going on. But then, it could be for a second, I thought, is it injury related? So yeah, we don't know. So we're basically just guessing. But I think that the anxiety part and factor is something that is definitely also, I think, on top of where I think it went, and then to completely kind of just block, just everything just blocked. I do have to say, for him to finish the match and not, to play out and not hand over, the win or stop the game or the match is also shows the respect that he has, because let me tell you,
point.
99 of the other players out of 100 would have walked off, after they lost that set probably. But so the fact that he stayed on court just shows the respect also, I think, that he had for his opponent, but also for, the place and where he was at. So, but yeah, interesting to see. He's obviously getting a lot of things checked. And we can't forget, know players who've dealt with stomach issues or with because they can't travel, they don't like traveling, eating different foods, drinking different waters. There's a lot of things over time that people kind of, that you build up from the lifestyle that we live, and he's strong, but he's also skinny. It's not like he has a lot of extra kind of meat on him, that when he is a little bit sick, how much is in his reserve, how much does he have in the tank to kind of say okay, I'm strong enough to still fight through this. And so it could be a lot of things, but I do think after a while, the mental side of it is something that will definitely have played a big factor too in this situation.
Aryna Sabalenka was up a set and a break, 5-3 on Diana Shnaider, lost 10 straight games. I think the Sinner result sort of overshadowed this as the most shocking of the tournament, but this was also head-scratching to me.
Very. Still, to me, the biggest surprise out of everything that happened in Paris to me was that, and the self, how do you say, when you make yourself play worse, just in her own head,
self-sabotage.
She completely self-sabotaged, and it just shows it doesn't matter how well you've been playing in the past, what you've won in the past, no matter who you play, you have a chance, because we all at times feel like we're not playing great. But to me, it's also a little bit she wants everything to be perfect. And then I remember being match point down in Indian Wells against Rybakina, and she hits that winner, it was a backhand, where she, out of nowhere. And that showed so much guts to, to make the decision at that time. But then you see her in Paris, and you see her, self-sabotage and just make herself doubt her, and because things aren't going perfect, and that's what I think the clay can do to you. It just can make you feel so out of place and frustrated, and and she's never been shy of showing her frustrations and her excitement as well. But she's completely destroyed herself. And okay, Shnaider was in a situation where she was like, all right, let me just go for it, right? I have nothing to lose. Like, I'm just going to go and try to hit winners off the second serve and just really be aggressive. And sometimes like it falls into place, and it worked for her. But Sabalenka is a better player than Shnaider, and should have, I'm not going to say should have never lost that match, because anything is possible. But yeah, nobody would have, described that was going to happen like from that stage onwards. So just unfortunate. And these kind of moments, like, they stick with you as you move on to the next one, and you'll try to forget about it. And then, maybe when she plays her again, or maybe like there's little moments like that stay in your head, and you have to just try to get through it. Like, just try to forget about it as much as possible, but that's not easy. And then we saw her in her press conference saying, how, I want to stop playing tennis and not ever go back.
Also relatable. It's like,
very
this
relatable.
Is the worst.
Very, like, why am I doing this? Like, without a doubt, she'll be ready to play on the grass and compete hard and be even hungrier than she was, before the French Open.
So, okay, what was your favorite weird off-court story?
My favorite, my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Do you want me to tell you mine, and then you can go back to yours?
Yes, please.
So I think my weirdest one was the Caboli-Arnaldi joint press conference, which was just so strange. But it just was like the cherry on top of a very strange 2 weeks. And just my friend Reem Abalil, she highlighted the fact that they had each player on either side of this placard on the front of the dais that said, only at Roland Garros. It was just like the perfect visual. Yeah, like there are some things that happened these last 2 weeks that I truly don't think would have happened at any other slam. So yeah, that was the weirdest one to me.
So my favorite moment, that stood out to me, was being a part of David Goffin's last, at the French Open. But what I never experienced, like, I enjoyed playing in Paris, but I'm not a French-speaking Belgian. We all know that the French get, a lot of, support, and they go very, very, they're very pro their French players and very against whoever's playing against the French
right.
players. So, but to see, like, and with Justine, there was a lot of support because she's French speaking, Belgian. But to see David, in his first round, win, and just the whole atmosphere of the whole Suzanne Lenglen Stadium was completely filled. The energy that they were doing, the Mexican wave. I mean, it was an organized event for his last match. Like, that's what it felt like. It couldn't have gone any more perfect. He ended up winning that match. He lost in the second round, but to be a part, like, I sat in the box and with his family, his coach, like, his friends and his wife, and it was just an incredible moment to experience for me as a former player, but to kind of feel like that French support. And it was just incredible. And he's meant so much for Belgian tennis, but also in France. Like, he's, such a known name because of the language. And although we're, from a different country, but because of the language, the connection, just very known as well. And I kind of had to remind myself too about that a little bit. Like, it's great to see that that he got, what he wanted out of, his last French Open. Maybe not results wise, because I'm sure he would have wanted to qualify, but to leave the tournament with that kind of support, and it was amazing to be a part of.
Okay, let's move on to our Q&A, and then we'll get into talking about grass season, shall we?
Yes, please.
This is from our friend Allison, Seacoast Runner. Do you think Roland Garros will consider going with electronic line calling next year, especially after that terrible call that cost Ruud the set versus Fonseca? Which that's maybe some editorializing there at the end from Allison, who is a Casper Ruud fan. But I'm curious, do you think they will go to?
I hope they don't. I actually really like still the tradition of the chair umpire coming out of the chair. And we've also seen, electronic line calling, like very questionable at times, right? So I think having the chair umpire going down to the to the mark and make the decision is I still like that about it, and I feel like every slam can have their own kind of personality to that. So I like that they do that there.
Yeah, and I to be fair to Allison, I'm not saying that the call was good or bad, but that one of the biggest arguments against ELC on clay is the fact that you can have the electronic line calling see one thing, and when you look at the mark, you can see something else, because clay is not a static material. So that was one of the big concerns, is what's going to happen when electronic line calling calls something in and you're looking at the mark and it looks out. And so again, obviously people have gotten over that. We have relied on machines for many things now, and I think people have just gotten used to that. But I do think it's possible for Hawkeye to show one thing and the clay to show, at least to our naked eye, something else.
Couple of things that they do have to get rid of is the covers.
The tarps, yes.
The tarps and the Lacoste, either make them out of a soft fabric or like, I don't know, something that players don't need to get stitched up or fall over or twist ankles because of material on the court. I think it's just, more and more players are standing further back. And so line calling, I feel, can stay the way it is. But I think they do have to take away get rid of some of the obstacles on the courts.
Okay, our next question from NZ Family. As a right-handed player, how often did you practice against a lefty in order to feel comfortable with their spins and angles? And I love this question because that was potentially at least somewhat of a factor in Chwalinska's run. Chwalinska. Mm-hmm. I think I'm saying yes. And for whatever reason, that one sort of sticks on my tongue. In her run, and then also, Sabalenka losing to Shnaider, who's also a lefty, and then a lefty having to play a lefty. They're just, I think it's just one more factor, and I'm curious how you prepared and how you handled it, and if it bothered you at all.
I lost to Rus, R-U-S, from the Netherlands at the French, also a lefty. And I don't know, it's just tricky. Like, they're just a lot trickier. And I grew up playing with lefties plenty of times. Like, I grew up playing with a lot of guys growing up at the Federation in Belgium. And then just in general, like when I was, always, like when I was training with Carl or with Wim, like always, Wim played a little bit as well, but then always had a lot of hitting partners that were guys. And so always enjoyed playing against guys, but a lot of them were also lefties. And so during the tournaments, I would always, if I was playing a lefty, would always look for a lefty hitting partner. But growing up in the Federation, we had a couple of left-handers that, we would just practice against without even thinking about like that you were playing a left-hander. So you learn at a young age already, okay, like how does the kick serve? What does that look like when you're playing a lefty? And
miserable.
Yes, horrible. Or the body serves, like how are they different? And it's just have to get used to that. But the earlier on that you can start kind of reading patterns and different like effects on the ball, the easier you can deal with it as you get older.
This one is from Tim. What player impressed you most from a technical standpoint? And this, I think, could be a man or a woman.
I'm going to go with Chwalinska. I think, to me, she was able to, be patient, but at the same time, like the way that she uses the full court on the other side of the net, like she's able to, hit the backhand a little bit faster, but then hit the deeper forehand. The next one, you're getting pulled out of the tram lines. Like I felt like she just knew her game so well. She knew how to play on clay. She was patient, and she knew when to step up when she had to. And I just really, you can see her thinking out there. So I think maybe because I watched her and sat on the side of the court while I was watching her, that maybe that stuck with me the most. But she definitely stood out for me.
I love that. Okay. Is there a match or moment from these 2 weeks that didn't get enough attention, but that you think was actually really significant?
Do you have one?
I go back to Starodubtseva beating Rybakina. I just feel like that was happening when so many other things were happening, and it did not get that much press for me. And I don't know if that's because Rybakina is just herself, just sort of fades into the fabric of an event in some ways, just her personality type. I don't know why that was, but I felt like that was potentially pretty significant, whether for Rybakina or Starodubtseva. We'll see as the tournament season marches on.
Yeah. And maybe if I pick one, maybe Iga Swiatek losing. I think there's, when you're at a slam or you're watching the tournament, and the way that it happened over, for me, 3 weeks basically was like, there's news every day, and there was so much coming out, and on-court stuff, off-court, like practice injuries, like there was so much happening that I feel like that kind of lost. Like everybody was predicting the Iga against
Kostyuk?
No.
Oh.
The next round. She was supposed to play the winner. She won the French. It's like she's 0-6 against her.
Oh, Ostapenko. Yeah, and then it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen. So people were already kind of jumping ahead, like at the start of the tournament, like, oh, Iga against Ostapenko, like that's going to be an interesting one. And then, Iga doesn't get there, and then it's like, like nobody really talked about it again. Like,
or wait, was it Ostapenko who didn't get there? Because Iga
got there and lost that. Yeah. Sorry, but then like that match didn't happen, and there was so much buildup to that match. Like when the draw came out, and the first few days, like before the tournament started, and then all of a sudden it didn't happen, and nobody really kind of mentioned it again. So I feel like that got a lot of attention early on, and then kind of died off because it didn't happen. But so yeah, to me, it's more, I think, Iga losing early.
It was just such a fascinating tournament in that there was so much happening on court, off court, weird results, things said in pressers, that it just was almost impossible to give everything the amount of attention that it deserved. Yeah. Which I'm sure those players who had, maybe not Jannik Sinner, because that got a ton of attention, but everybody else who had an untimely loss, I feel like they're thinking, phew, thank goodness that people are paying attention to other things.
You know what I loved, Blair, was and I mentioned it before, like going to watch like some of the center court practices, like during the qualifying week, and every player that stepped on there went to Rafa's plate and went to like, some were like rubbing it, some were like just touching it with their racket, like, hey, like, give me some good energy here, or
gives me the chills,
taking selfies with it. Like it just, it was so fun to see like what that means and the impact, that he's had on a generation of players that are maybe there now for the first time, or like early on in their career. So it's very, very cool, and so that maybe is also one of my favorite things that I
love that
on a personal level, like just, or on a non-tennis court, like result level. I really enjoyed seeing that.
So lots going on, and I think all eyes will be on Queens. Certainly today, as of this recording, Serena will be taking the court with Vicky Mboko in her much anticipated comeback. And I just wanted to ask you, when you came back first or second time, and you haven't played a competitive match in X many months, years, what is the physiological response like?
Well, the first time I was, mid-20s, right? It was a lot easier. I think the comeback was also shorter than my second time, where there were more years in between, and I was older. So the first time, I feel like it all went really smooth. Besides kind of the mental
understatement,
right? Like no, but like even like the months before, like winning the Open, like I feel like everything went pretty smooth. Like it was just an emotional roller coaster, because I lost my dad like earlier in 2009, and then decided, because I got invited to Wimbledon to play against Steffi and Andre, and Tim Henman was my partner, to play when they announced the opening of the roof on center court. And so just that made me say yes. And I just started hitting balls just because I wanted to kind of be somewhat hitting the ball decent. And it made me kind of just, be more hungry for competition and to get better and to improve. And so that was the first time. But then the second time, it was a lot harder. It was, I've had injuries throughout my career, but then, little things, right? The knee ache, had to do, I had meniscus surgery, come back from that. I have herniated discs in my neck. They started bothering me more. You just don't recover as fast anymore, as you did before. And just, emotionally, mentally, I enjoyed the challenge, but then when COVID hit, it just wasn't worth it for me, leaving my family. And it was, I compare it, and I've compared this to my friends who, have a goal, I'm turning 40, I'm turning 50, I want to run a marathon once in my life. To me, it almost felt like that's going to be my goal, to see if I can, after 3 kids, can still come back and play some good tennis. So I'm excited to watch Serena, and it's been fun kind of to see some of the clips on social media where she's, hitting with Vicky and Boko, and they're playing doubles. And so that's been fun to watch. And so I'm excited to, I'm sure the Tennis Channel will show it right on TV today. And then
it's appointment viewing, I think, for sure. So, a couple of things that she said in press. One, she was asked about possibly playing singles, and she said she just did not want to put any pressure on herself. She wanted to come out and have fun playing tennis. So it wasn't a no, but it wasn't I came back because I want to play singles. And she said she just feels like she needs more training, more reps under her belt before she makes a decision on whether or not she is going to play singles. And I thought it was interesting too, just her reasoning, which she sort of boiled down to why not? Why not give it one more shot?
Kids to watch her play and
right.
But she's always she's been super competitive, competitive mindset, right? You don't get to, where she is, and if you don't have that super competitive mindset, and I'm amazed to see that she still has that. So I love that she, I don't believe that she's just there for the fun of the game. It's because she wants to do well. Yeah. She wants to, there were moments I feel like last year at the Open, Venus doing well, with Iala with Leila in the doubles. I think those kind of things maybe triggered it for her a little bit, and just seeing the results that Venus could have, and so I'm excited to see. It's fun for the kids. Brian and I enjoyed the lifestyle of for a few years to travel with with Jada but just excited to watch it and see what kind of level she can bring. And the interesting thing is how will she react? It's it's too soon to talk about singles, but there's a part of me that is I think this is just the warm up to get her to a level where she feels good enough, or just to see can I still play singles? Because that's going to be the question is, how good can I move and recover to win, and to play a few matches in a row.
Shout out also to Aaron Routliffe, who within the span of about 3 months will have played both Venus and Serena in doubles. If you remember, Aaron played with Asia Muhammad in Miami in that bonkers win over Layla and Venus. And now she is playing with a different partner, Nicole Mellicar Martinez, and is getting the chance to play Serena. That is a wild footnote in your career. Aaron has had an incredible doubles career, has been #1 in the world, played college tennis, and just something that I don't think she would ever have thought she would have had the chance to do.
So founny thing, Blair. So in 99, I qualified for Wimbledon. It was my first, I was 16, qualified, and got to the 4th round, lost to Steffi. I lose that match. I'm walking back to the locker room, and players in the locker room were like, "It's so unfair. How do you get the player? This is her last Wimbledon. I've been playing on tour for 25 years and I've never played Steffi, and you play your first Wimbledon and you get to play her at Wimbledon." And so you just have to get lucky sometimes, I guess.
That's hilarious. So people wanted the privilege of
playing Steffi once, in their career. And never did. I never had the opportunity. And then I show up and get to do it in my first attempt. So that was really cool. I got to play Martina Navratilova. That was amazing. When she was playing doubles.
Yes.
Got to play Monica Seles. I feel like there was a few players that I grew up watching that I got to play, and that was
that's the
really,
trifecta
really exciting.
right there.
Even Jennifer Capriati, Lindsay, Martina Hingis, like they were all very young, right, when I was coming up. So to be able to play them in a slam or on center court of a Grand Slam was it was a lot of fun.
I imagine that you also gave other players that experience when you came back.
I don't know. I don't know.
Got to play Kim Clijsters. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. It's Rec Room time. I have missed this. You have missed this. What do you have to share with the people today?
One of my favorite products, and my kids too, and Brian, it's on a daily, gets used daily at our house, is Andy Roddick actually introduced me to this company, Cure Hydration. It's a hydration company, very clean. It's dehydrated coconut powder, so it's very, just super healthy. And I love the owner, Lauren. I got to know a little bit, and this is a company that you just put it in water. It makes the kids drink. My kids don't like drinking or don't drink enough plain water. So when I add healthy hydration, it just, they have lots of different flavors. This is berry, this is fruit punch, this is pink lemonade. My favorite is grapefruit, and then just lemonade. And this goes with me tomorrow when I'm on the plane. Like this will go with me.
That's a good idea.
And I'll just take these to Belgium and wherever I go. So now with the kids, with the hot weather, I just fill them up in their water bottles and make sure that they drink. And their water bottles always empty when they come home.
That's a trick of the trade right there. I have the little element packets which I like, which are insanely expensive, that I treat like they're gold. Like how little can I put in to get the flavor?
Try these too, because
I need to.
Also very kid friendly. So
all right, awesome.
They work with the, I don't know what the proper name is, but the US pediatric. So
nice. Thanks for that, Kim. Love that. Are you ready for mine?
Are those the pens?
Did I already do the pens?
No.
Oh, okay.
So funny. Oh my gosh, Blair.
Slovenia. Yes. Wait. Do you have a backstory on tennis racket?
I have a story.
Pens?
So
okay.
So go ahead. So when I went to Luxembourg last year, bunch of my girlfriends were coming to meet me there. So we have this tradition, like we share the hotel room and we, have breakfast. We it's a nice hiking there and we go to dinner. So the night before I ruptured my Achilles, I made goodie bags like from here, from the States. And I, had little toiletry bags. I ordered those pens, put them in. I had tennis socks. I had tennis pajamas. So
what a good friend, Kim.
The Luxembourg trip started amazing and it was so fun and we were crying laughing until the drama
Achilles.
Anyway, but yes, great.
Okay, these bring me such joy. They are relatively inexpensive. I get packets of them off Amazon. And by the way, we are working on a link system for you guys so that we can have all of our recommendations in one place. So we're working on that. We hope to have that soon, but these just make me smile, first of all, when I am using it. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like when I'm actually at a tennis tournament, I will use these and people laugh at me, but it A, brings me joy because they're cute. And B, they are great if you work, like when I work on site with a team, I bring a packet with me and I will give these out to the people that I work with because again, it's just like a fun way to spread tennis joy.
It is.
They're just adorable.
And there's blue, there's gold, silver, and pink. Right? Like, yeah.
Yes. Wow, Kim.
Very
we are
good.
On the same page. And they're also, as an added bonus, if you make content, they're great microphones because you can attach a little microphone here and use it as a mic. And so, for those content creators out there, maybe Kimfluencers, if you will, you too can attach a microphone to a tennis racket pen. All
Great.
right.
I love that.
Kim, well, who knew that we were both lovers of tennis racket pens? Learn something new every day. All right. This was so great. Clearly, because that was maybe one of our longest.
Have a recommendation?
Sean, do you have a rec?
I don't. I was not prepared.
Well, now that we can reach you mid podcast, you're going to have to come prepared with a racket.
All right. Next time I'll come prepared with a racket.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Don't disappoint us.
I won't.
Next
I won't.
Yes. Well, a big thanks to Techie Sean, our entire team, Ella, Mike, Sophie, all the people who have worked so hard during slam life is crazy. So credit to everyone behind the scenes. Kim, I've missed you. I'm just so glad to catch up, and I will be back to my voice noting ways. So you better watch out.
Same. I'm going to get Wi-Fi on the plane, and then I can start bombarding you.
Okay. I can't wait. Have a great trip, and we'll see you all next week. Make sure to follow, subscribe, all the things. It would mean so much to us. See you next time.
Bye.